Scott, hey, it's Owen. Yeah, I was hoping that you could find someone to host the show for me on Wednesday. I'm not really feeling very well. Oh yeah, like a fever and a bellyache, maybe even a tumor, I'm not sure. Oh, hang on one sec. Oh, you know, that's a rum runner. I wanted a Mai Tai. Could you grab that for me? And a bowl full of cherries with one of those little umbrellas. I love those. Hey, what? What? Oh, yeah, I was thinking that Amanda Robinson could host the show. Amanda Robinson. That's right. Busy? No, I don't think she's busy at all. Great. I mean, great. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Scott. Bye-bye. Nothing better than relaxing on the island of Hawaii without any work to do. Oh, that reminds me. Live on Facebook and YouTube, it's Social Media Lab Live.
Are you ready to use science to bust some myths in the social media ecosystem?
Great Scott!
Welcome to the Social Media Lab Live, brought to you by Agorapulse, where our social media scientists experiment on real accounts to crack the code on social media success for your business.
Type 5 to subscribe to the show.
Now your hosts, Owen Video and Scott Ayers.
Show where professionals bust the myths and rumors of social media marketing with. We're live every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, and on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can join the tribe by typing 5 in the comments down below to join the Social Media Lab Lounge, where you get some insider access, contribute to the show, and get the private group for social media nerds, kind of like myself. And so type 5 in the comments below. So I am Amanda Robinson. I am filling in for Owen with that amazing intro. I'm so sorry that he's under the weather right now. And I am here with the #1 social media scientist, Scott Ayers. Hi, Scott.
Under the weather, aka on a plane to Hawaii right now. Actually, I saw his Instagram stories. He's like literally on his way right now. But yeah, it's good to have you on here, Amanda. And remember, today our show is brought to you by Agorapulse, which of course is the #1 social media management tool for social marketers and business owners. If you want to schedule your posts or respond to comments and get more customers, all from one easy tool, make sure to go over to getagorapulsenow.com. You'll get a free trial. And then once you sign up for your free trial, you're going to want to go ahead and get a paid plan. And if you enter the coupon code LIVE, L-I-V-E, Owen is going to pay for your first month. So go ahead, go to getagorapulsenow.com and use the coupon code LIVE, and we'll get you set up today. So, Amanda, you and I are here. Owen's gone, so it's our show now.
He's left some pretty big shoes for us to fill, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm over here like starting all my watch parties and stuff. So like as we start the show, it's always like this. I'm on 2 computers, so it's always like, what am I doing? What am I doing? But yeah, so if you're watching in a watch party, we can't see all of them at the same time. But if you're in a watch party, we're gonna do a trivia show today. So make sure you hop over to the actual live feed if you want to be a part of our trivia show today. Cool thing, I don't know if you know this, Amanda, but I was on my mobile the other day watching a watch party that Owen was doing actually. And on your mobile device, you could switch back and forth between the watch party comments and the live comments. It was really interesting. I never had seen that before.
I have not actually experienced the pleasure of that. No, because I'm mostly sitting on desktop all day long watching live in the moment. You know what? You and I were just talking. It's so funny because you're not a mobile user generally.
I'm typically not.
Wait a second. I think I would sneak that in there.
Here's how I snuck it in. I was in line to pick up one of my kids from school, and I was like, had nothing else going on. I said, "Oh, Owen's got a watch party going." So I hopped over to it, and I went, "Oh, look at this! I can go back and forth." That's the biggest problem. Like we get these watch parties going, and I've got one going in the Social Media Lab group right now. I stuck one over in the Be Livers group, so hopefully those guys hop on, and then one on my personal profile. And Owen typically will do a few as well. But you can't get them, you can't pull their comments in, and you can't really see them on the main feed. But the fact you could switch back and forth was kind of a cool deal.
So that's how it starts. When you said that you were picking your kid up from school, you're on your mobile, and you're saying you use desktop for everything, and you don't really like using mobile. So that's how it starts. That's how we get you hooked. And I know there are going to be, we've got tons and tons of trivia today. I know there are going to be some trivia questions related to mobile usage. So just a cute little heads up.
Yeah, I think the trivia is going to be fun. So we'll we've done these trivias before a couple of times, and so it's kind of fun to kind of do them again. This one's going to be a little different. This is not all lab trivia. This is some general social trivia as well. So everybody will have to get their Google fingers ready.
And there is a lot. We've got a lot of trivia, a lot of questions, and Scott has a lot of prizes to give away. So we're not kidding when we say make sure you jump in, make sure you comment.
Yeah, and look at this. I've got a prize wheel even. Cool little prize wheel. We're gonna have some fun with that. Here's what we're giving away today. We're giving away some Agora Pulse t-shirts. Those are everybody wants one of those. We've got lots of those to give away. We're giving away a copy of Jen Herman's Instagram for Business for Dummies book. Really, it's a great book. I'm really excited about that one. We're giving away a ring light kit. So if you want to get a ring light kit, do some live shows or do your own video, we're giving away one of those. Owen is giving away membership to his video marketing school. So we're giving that one away. I try to like say, hey, let's give away like an hour consult with Owen, but he wouldn't let me do that. We should just do it anyway.
we should just do it anyway.
Yeah, do it anyway. And we're also giving away we have two autographed copies of John Jantz's new book. Really cool little book you should go check out. So 2 copies of that. And the last one is really neat. We came up with this idea in our meeting last week. We're going to let some person, if it lands on it, it'll have to land on it. And if we've given away just something already once, we'll have to spin it again. That's the only downside of that. Somebody might win the opportunity to be our sponsor on our next live show. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them. Put your name on the description. Let you maybe even come on the show if it works out. So that'll be kind of a fun thing to do. So
do you want to give us like a conversation going. Do you want to give us a test spin and show us,
Yeah, let's see how the bad thing is I've got to put it in front of my head, and then I have to kind of look through a little like hole in between there to see where it lands. Let's see. Someone would have won the live
sponsor. I hope we haven't jinxed it.
See my lovely handwriting too, by the way. Isn't that amazing?
It's very nice.
And I didn't use a dry eraser, so I'm hoping that actually wipes off later. But
so now, so how does that work with the dry eraser? So if somebody wins like the ring light, then we do like erase it off, or?
Yeah, I'll just put an X through it or something like that, and then we'll go from there.
So then the next person that's going to get the prize, we spin it. You get the X. It's like, oh, sorry, it's already done.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Or I'll scratch it. What I'll probably do is scratch it out and put T-shirt, because we can always give away T-shirts.
Smart.
That may be what we should do. So
I like how you roll. So speaking of sorry and saying it with my lovely little Canadian accent, you have Thanksgiving coming up this weekend, don't you?
Yeah, next Thursday. It's really late here in the United States for Thanksgiving. It's always the fourth Thursday. But this year it's like, what is that? The 28th of the month. So it's like our Christmas season's like really short.
I was going to say it's practically December, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we're dying to put up our Christmas decoration. Our house is like the Griswolds. You ever watch the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? Like we just moved, and so we'll go crazy at our house. I already warned our neighbors, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to start on it this weekend just because the time frame is so short. The wheel is hypnotizing me. Somebody just said. So when was Thanksgiving for you guys in Canada? In Canada,
Canada A. When was it? It was a few weekends ago.
October-ish.
I'm not really good with. Yeah, it was early October, and so we've already had our Thanksgiving. We've already had our long weekend, and it's so funny because the majority of people that I work with are in the United States. So I'm starting to get a little bit programmed to work on the U.S. holiday schedule. So the Canadian holidays, they sneak up on me. They completely come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Thanksgiving is here. I need to go eat a lot of turkey. Please excuse me while I go put my stretching pants on. Yeah, but see, the beauty of being on the Canadian side of things is that we basically get like 2 Thanksgivings, because we get our traditional Canadian one where we make our turkey and we, wear our stretchy pants and we regret our life choices while we're comatose on turkey. But then we get to the point where it's U.S. Thanksgiving, and those of us who work with a lot of U.S. clients, it ends up becoming sort of like a second holiday. And generally, your friends are eating turkey, makes you want to eat more turkey, and you just do it all over again. So we kind of get the double whammy.
Does anybody else? I'm curious in the comments. Do y'all do both Thanksgivings, or if you're Canada versus U.S.? I'd love to hear that. I see George DeManis said he was in here. He pointed out he was a top fan. Thanks, George. We appreciate you.
George
Jason
is
Webster,
I think George is a top fan on everything.
I think he is. And what's funny about that top fan thing, and we'll get into our trivia here in a second. Like sometimes I'm like active like twice on a page, and all of a sudden I get you're the top fan of such and such page. I'm like, why? I don't understand.
You're like, wait a minute here. Wait a minute.
Right. If I'm the top fan, you're not getting any engagement. That's what sometimes I wonder on some of these pages.
Wait,
Yeah,
so you're a
kinda
top fan
interesting.
on my page, so now I'm a little offended
No.
here.
Well, on your page, I'm top fan because George and I got into a GIF war. What was that, like a month ago? I think this comment thread got to like 430 or something ridiculous, and George bowed out.
On.
George couldn't take it anymore.
It raged on for well over a week, and I got to give you both credit. Honestly, the dedication involved. It wasn't just chucking out random GIFs. I mean, you guys were putting in time and effort into. I mean, you must have gone through the entire GIF library and gotten to the point where it was so exhausting because you couldn't find any other ones. But speaking of how that works, thank you for that. The GIF war on my timeline or on my business page really helped the algorithm, really helped surface that post. So to your detriment of having to GIF war for a week, I thank you.
Very cool. Nazim said they do 2 Thanksgivings. Can you spare one here in Italy? Yeah, maybe we can give you one. Y'all have pizza for Thanksgiving probably though, right?
And Lily is saying UK, they don't have Thanksgiving.
Really?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that either.
You can have my Thanksgiving. I don't even like turkey. I just eat it because everybody else does.
I like turkey. I'm at the point now I can't eat as much because of I've had gastric sleeve surgery. So like my Thanksgiving looks so different than what it looked like 2 years ago, where I would have like 6 plates. Now it's like here's a little tiny piece of turkey and a little bite of mashed potatoes, and I'm full. So it's
like a
definitely
cupcake size Thanksgiving.
Right. So let's hop into our questions. You want to hop into the questions and kind of go over what we're going to do rule-wise?
All right, so let's get this started. So we're going to be doing some social media trivia today, and you definitely need to participate because you have a huge chance of taking home one of those amazing prizes that Scott went over. So here's how it works. Here's our rules that we're going to run by. So we are going to ask you some trivia questions, and we're going to bring those up on screen. You have to answer in the comments, and you can answer as many times as you want. So you can throw out the right answer, you can throw out the wrong answer, you can throw out any answer, but in order to win a prize, it needs to be the correct answer. So just make sure you're throwing answers out there. Give it a go. Scott is going to be choosing at random somebody who has answered the correct question. He's going to be spinning that prize wheel, and you have the chance at winning one of those amazing, lovely prizes. So definitely make sure that you are commenting, participating. Don't be making up answers. But if you do happen to win a prize, make sure that you email lab@agorapulse.com. So I repeat, make sure you comment. Tons of chances to win prizes. If you are chosen as the winner of a prize, make sure you email lab@agorapulse.com, and we'll
make sure you're commenting on the live feed on our page, not in the watch parties, because that won't count. or if you're watching this, we cross post this to a couple of other pages. If you're on those pages, you need to hop over here real quick to the Agora Pulse page so we can see the comments. Facebook unfortunately doesn't pull those in. So
so everybody take that time right now to make sure you are on the Agora Pulse feed right now, and jump on over and get ready to answer some trivia questions. So Scott, are you ready for us to dive into the first one?
I got my wheel ready.
I'm excited. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Ooh, got me.
All right. Question number 1. What was the highest peak live viewers the Social Media Lab live show has had? Is it A, 89 live viewers? Is it B, 204 live viewers? C, 63 live viewers? Or D, 241 live viewers? How many is it? So make sure you dump that answer in the comments below, and we will be choosing a winner. Scott, what do you think?
Well, I know what the answer is because I wrote these questions.
I know what the answer is because I was watching that live show when it happened. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was interesting. We've kind of set goals for ourselves. First, we had let's get at least a peak live viewer of 25. We got that a while back, and then we're like, let's have 50. Let's have 70 or something like that. 75, I think, was our goal that week. So I've kind of given up on maybe one of our answers would be there. And so we were like, okay, let's get to that. And then all of a sudden, it's like halfway through the show, it just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And we're like, why is it? For one, it was really late in the show, which was real intriguing to me, because typically you would think it'd be early because they tend to drop off. But this thing just kept going and going and going. So it was a lot of fun to be a part of that and kind of, get to put that number down. And the reach was insane on that one too. So we're trying to replicate that today. So tag somebody in the comments for them to come over and watch and maybe win one of these cool prizes and see if we can reach that number again. Mike Alton says he has spoken.
There's a really amazing feeling that happens when you are on live video and you peak over the 100 mark when it comes to live viewers. Right. There's this moment of all of a sudden, when you're talking to 25 people live, 30 people, 50 people live, you have an excitement, but as soon as it tips over that 100 mark, as a person on live video, you get to that point where it's like, oh, this is happening. Like, this is for real now. Like, we've hit the big leagues when it comes to live streaming. You get that many views on the replays, but to have it happen live, it's like, oh, don't screw up.
And it's a lot of pressure too. Yeah, you're like, okay, there are this many people watching me now. I hope I don't look like an idiot. Now I look like, I'm doing the whole No Shave November, which is sad that I'm 44 and this is almost a month old, but it is what it is.
I'm doing the No Shave November too.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, Owen's doing it on his head right now. If you hadn't noticed, he quit shaving his head. But yeah, so it's a lot of pressure to like perform when you get that many people. Like right now, we just hit 72, so that's pretty cool. That's one of our higher numbers as well we've seen. So we'll kind of keep pushing up. So should we pick a winner? I think everybody said a lot here.
Yeah, I think we should definitely. Do you want to give a shout out to those who have thrown some answers in there, whether they're right or wrong?
Yeah, go for it. See what
I don't have. You go for it. I don't.
I've got it pulled up. Marco said 89. Steven Sullivan said 204. Alyssa said 204. Vicky Griffith said 241. Sarah Monroe said 241. No one's made up an answer yet. Jason Webster 204. George Demanis said B, which works too as well. You could say B or say the numbers as well, but I like the ones that actually put the number. We should have put a bunch of 5s in there because then they would automatically subscribe to our chat bot. That's what I should have done.
Answer A, B, 5, or D.
Right. All right. So the correct answer on this one, I don't know if we have like drum roll music. The correct answer on this one was B, 204. We actually had a live peak of 204, even though Naomi actually had a screenshot. Naomi had a screenshot that showed 205, but we in Facebook Analytics it shows us 204. So we're going by 204. And I randomly saw Nikki Lynn say 204. So Nikki Lynn is going to be the winner, and we're going to spin the wheel now and see what you're going to win. All right, you ready? Let's see that we should have some music there, but it lasts pretty quickly, so it's got to be short music. It's in front of my orange hair, which is kind of funny. Ooh, the John Jantsch autographed book. This book looks really cool. It's like it's almost like an entrepreneur devotion book, like how to be an entrepreneur and kind of the life of an entrepreneur. So, Nikki, make sure you email me lab@agorapulse.com. I'm writing it down. So George, if you email me, you're not getting the book. But
George, I think you should try and email anyway, just to test the system.
Right.
Because I know you're a rebel like that, right?
Right.
Congratulations, Nikki, on winning the very first prize of our trivia today. We have more trivia coming up.
91 live viewers right now. So let's see if we can beat that 204.
All right, guys, you know what?
On the last one, so.
We need to prove a point. Well, Owen is on vacation. Well, he was on an airplane to Hawaii. We need to prove a point that we can push that number above 204. So help us out here. Share this out. Start a watch party. Share it on your feed. Share it on your pages. Call your friends. Snail mail them. Whatever it takes. Let's prove a point here. Let's
send a pigeon.
Send the carrier pigeons.
Right.
I've got Small Dog.
All right,
I'll send him out.
Small Dog, yeah, put him out there. Let's get on the question number 2. Let's pull that one up on the screen. We'll get the music. There we go. That's a good screenshot. Someone make a GIF out of that. All right, so how many monthly active users does Facebook have? Is it A, 1.9 billion, B, 2.8 billion, C, 1.75 billion, or D, 2.4 billion? I'll take A, B, C, D, or the exact number there. So how many monthly active users does Facebook have? 1.9, 2.8, 1.75, or 2.4? Leave your comments to win a prize.
See, Scott, you were saying You'll take A, B, C, or D. I'll take A, B, C, D, or 5.
Or 5. Yeah. Remember, if you type in 5, we don't beat you up in the chat bot. We love chat bots, of course, but I usually send out 1 message per week, letting you know when the live show is on. So I don't beat you up with it. I actually sent 2 this week to one list just to kind of see, what would happen. One of them was a reminder. So, hey, I want to do something while you guys are answering here. There's this company called Poddex. Y'all should go to Poddex and check it out. They have this little deck of cards that's interview questions that you could do for interviews. I want to ask randomly one of these questions that come up to Amanda, and I haven't prepped Amanda for this, and I'm just pulling one off. You can see it here. Amanda, what's the worst job you've ever had?
I was going to say, this was not in the brochure.
It was not. We didn't tell her she was having to do this. We've hit over 100 peak live viewers, by the way. Amanda, what's the worst job you've ever had?
All right, so I'm going to spin it. It's the worst, but the best, but the worst. It was the first job that I had right out of college, which would have been arresting shoplifters. So my first job out of college, I was working for Sears at the time as one of their loss prevention folks, but it was actually, they called it resource protection. So it was plain clothes. I would be wearing street clothes, carry my little purse, and have my radio and handcuffs in there, and walk around and watch people shoplift and go out and perform the arrest and bring them back in. So it was a really cool job on one hand, but it was the worst job because it was not safe, and it was probably the least amount of training I've had to do the highest risk amount of job, I guess you can say. And, we'd be arresting people who had mental health issues, people who had drug dependencies and had needles on them, or all sorts of crazy scenarios and situations where I look back at that and I think, what was I thinking? But it was an interesting job. The fact that that's how I started, and then I ended up in digital marketing and social media, becoming a complete Facebook ads nerd and geek. So quite a transition. I don't know if I like those cards.
I actually worked at Sears before as well, and didn't do loss prevention there, but I've worked at Sears before. So let's look at some of the comments. A lot of comments flying in. Thank you for answering my random question there, Amanda. Where we got George says 2.8 billion. Roger said 1.98, Jerry 1.9, Richard 2.4, Nazim 2.4. So a lot of answers coming here. Dustin was asking if it's monthly or daily. It was monthly users.
Monthly active users.
All right. So the answer to this one, according to what we pulled up, is, do we have that drum roll or anything? I don't know. I just want to talk and see what happens. The answer is D, 2.4 billion monthly active users. And the first name that I saw pop up, it said this one was Nazim Beltran. Nazim. We got 2 N's in a row. Nazim. You're the winner of the second one. Make sure to email me, lab@agorapulse.com. And we're going to spin the wheel. Y'all ready?
All right, here we go.
See who wins. That's kind of like hypnotizing if I get that really close.
It is. I don't know if I like it. I'm not sure if I'm liking we need like
a
so
Nazim wins a t-shirt. So I'll need to know your t-shirt size. So make sure you email me, lab@agorapulse.com, your t-shirt size and your mailing address, so we can mail you an Agorapulse t-shirt, not worn yet. But those are the next address.
The address is very important because as a digital nomad, I've had Agorapulse gear chase me all across the United States because I kept moving by the time it was arriving. So then I'd update the address and then I'd move again. So I had an Agorapulse hoodie chase me through about 5 states. It finally arrived. It finally made it to me. Thank goodness.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get to question number 3? I think you're on number 3. We're rotating. We're trying to rotate anyway. So I think
all right. Question number 3. Here we go. Photos with link in the description had how much higher reach than link posts? A, 22% higher. B, 65% higher reach. C, 9% higher reach. Or D, 31% higher reach. So just to repeat that, photos with links in the description had how much higher reach than link posts? So make your choice, A, B, C, D, or 5, and let us know your answer.
One of those choices was 65. That would probably trigger it. I don't know. And this is based off a test that we did on the lab. And actually, this was the subject matter of our previously highest peak live viewers show. This is what we had talked about on the show, which really surprised me because we thought, well, this isn't going to be an interesting show. Then all of a sudden it was like our craziest show. So it kind of goes to show sometimes we don't know what the audience wants.
I was going to say, it's funny that you say that because I was tuning into that show and I was hooked. I'm like, I need to know the answer to this because it's so hotly debated when it comes to Facebook and Facebook ads. I mean, what do you put? What's going to get you the highest reach with the algorithm? What does it like? What doesn't it like? Does Facebook penalize you for having a photo and then tucking that link into the description? Like you're trying to like sandwich it in there or hide it or make it look a little more native versus having the actual link post and have Facebook pull the metadata through and have it pull through the system. So I was so curious to see the answer and I was hooked and it was kind of like, it was drawn out. You guys were getting to it. I'm like, I need to know the answer.
Yeah, because this test was one that Mike Gingrich is the one who got us to test this because a couple years ago, Facebook said, anytime you do a photo and you put the link in the description, they're considered that, link bait. And so they were diminishing the reach because a lot of, slimy people were using Bitly links and like a cute kitty cat. And then you click on it and it'd take you over to some ad, some funnel or some product. And so Facebook was trying to get rid of that. So they said your posts like this are going to have diminished reach. So it was kind of an interesting one to test just to kind of see, is Facebook really punishing it like they said they were going to do? So we got quite a few guesses on here, and I've got to scroll up to see all of them. Let's see. Nikki Lynn said 31%. Regar said 65%. Jason Webster 31%. George says C. Brian 22%. I'm trying to find a winner. I haven't found one yet. Richard Young. All right, we're going to go ahead and give the winner. Richard Young. The winner. The answer was C. 9%. Photos 9%. With the link in the description had 9% higher reach. Than link posts, which you kind of would expect that. Photos should have higher reach. Typically they do. But the fact that they were supposed to have a diminished reach was what we're testing in that one. So kudos to Richard.
Just to clarify here, it was, and I think this is where it gets a little, where the intrigue is that we're talking about post reach. We're not talking about the actual clicks on the link. We're not talking the click-throughs and the clicks. So it's not measuring how many more clicks are you getting having the link post versus having a photo with the link, which one's getting more clicks. It's how is that post actually getting fueled through the algorithm and distributed out. So that was a very interesting live.
All right, so let's spin the hypnotic wheel. And see, stare into that type 5 to subscribe.
I can't forget it.
Another T-shirt. All right, Richard gets a T-shirt. Wait, I changed this. So as long as if somebody selected it, we're gonna do a T-shirt. And if we give away more than 2 T-shirts, I'll do that again. So yeah, Richard, T-shirt, lab@agorapulse.com. Send me your size and your mailing address, and we'll give it to you. And remember, if you're watching this in a watch party, I've seen some comments in watch parties. You don't enter unless you're over here on the Facebook Live. And I am watching. Lily Tree is always over here on YouTube giving us lots of comments. We appreciate you, Lily Tree. I see your answers, so we're not ignoring them. I promise you over there on YouTube. She's very dedicated on YouTube Live.
I like how George is calling you out there. He's like, the answer was C. And he's like, and you called him out and he's like, but we haven't found a winner yet. See, George, that's what happens when you're a top fan. We already know that, we really feel the love. We want to distribute the love and make sure that everybody's feeling it. That's a lie. Just keep answering.
Just keep answering. Just keep answering.
Just keep answering. Yes. All right. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. We're on question number 4. Oh, I guess I'm asking this one. I was waiting for your head to pop into there. I'll go ahead and say it since it's on the screen. How many people use Instagram each month? Is it A, 1 billion, B, 1.4 billion, C, 2 billion, or D, 1.75 billion? So how many people use Instagram every month? 1, 1.4, 2, or 1.75? Leave your answers in the comment. I'm going to go ahead. Let's do something different here on this one while we're waiting for those. Let's go ahead and spin to see what they're going to win. We want to do it backwards this time?
Ooh, yes, I like this idea.
Let's do it backwards. So y'all are going to comment how many users there are. Let's go ahead and see what you're going to win. That way we don't have to wait for that. Oh, another John Jantsch book. This book looks really cool. I haven't been a huge reader over the years, but recently I've started reading a lot. And his are one of those books that I've got to read this. I got to meet John at Agents of Change out in Portland, Maine. You were out there
Oh,
supporting Jim
I was
Harmon.
there as well. Yep.
First time I got to meet him, and ate lunch, ate dinner with him, and I was on his podcast here not too long ago. So really good guy, and I'm really loving the way the feel of this book. So definitely going to be a cool book for somebody to read. So Instagram, you're a big user of Instagram, and it's kind of funny how you and I met on Instagram. If you remember this, do you remember?
I do. I remember I was out on Toronto Island when I was living in Toronto. I had made a trip to the island with Small Dog. I was hanging out on the island. I didn't have the best cell service, and this is actually at the transition. This was literally at the transition point when I started finally. You know, I'm a Facebook ads girl. I'm a Facebook diehard Facebook person. I live on Facebook 24/7. It's my job, and that was sort of the transition point when I started using Instagram more and more. I mean, it got to the point where you can't ignore it. Instagram stories is where it's at. Instagram, you need to be there. You have to be present on the platform, whether you like it or not, if you're involved in marketing. And so I jumped on and I saw that Agorapulse was going live. So I jumped in, and lo and behold, your lovely face was there, and you brought me on live camera, and we had enough cell service, and it was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. Like I was, and I'm drawing on my thing. It's not wiping off, by the way, so this will be fun later on. Oops. Yeah, it's gonna be like really fun. It's like I've got all kinds of writing on this one little square now. I was testing out Instagram Live on the Agorapulse account like a year and a half ago, maybe, or somewhere around there. I'd never done live on the Instagram. Just want to play around, and then someone named She Wakeboards says, "Hey, I'll hop on and start talking," because like you were like putting in all kinds of truth bombs there in the live, and I'm like, I wanted you to get on here, and we got on and talked for like 20 minutes or so about Facebook ads and kind of geeked out over different stuff. And so it was kind of a fun thing there. And I was like, who is she?
We were talking about Instagram TV had just launched.
Yeah, that's right. IGTV had just launched, which I still haven't embraced totally personally.
No. And then I used to be She Wakeboards on Instagram, and since then I've totally rebranded and changed. But it's neat to see that there's still some legacy people kicking around.
Right. Now, did you use the same account and just change the username from She Wakeboards to the Digital Gal?
I did, but so when I rebranded, I went through a huge sort of evaluation of all of my social accounts to decide which ones I was going to change the name on. I just changed to swap the handle, and then which ones I was going to start brand new. So on Facebook, I ended up abandoning my old page and starting a brand new, fresh one, which is, as of right now, I think it's just hitting the 1 year mark. And I think it was the best decision to start a fresh page. But on Instagram and Twitter, I just swapped the handles and kept that. Yeah.
I like what Jason Webster said. Trick, use a dry erase pen to write over your marker and it'll come off. So that we'll have to try that later. I'll probably just use like alcohol pads or something, and hopefully it comes off. So I see a lot of answers here. Let's see what we have. Richards again said 1.4. George said B. Jason Webster brought 1 billion. He wrote it really large and in all caps. Stop yelling. Shandi said 1 billion. Elisa said 1.75. Abby McNair said 1 billion. And Abby, that is the correct answer. And so, Abby, you are going to be the one I selected. You were the first one I saw earlier when they were flying up in the comments. Yeah, give some love and shout out to Abby. So, Abby, make sure you email me, lab@agorapulse.com, and we'll get you all your information about the book. I wrote JJ. John Jance's. I'll start calling him JJ now. See if he appreciates it. Hey, JJ. We'll give away John Jance's book. I'm excited about getting that book. Actually, I think he may be set to be on the Social Pulse Weekly at some point. I know he's been talking to Jennifer about getting on that show, so I'm interested to see him on there. Deb Mitchell says try WD-40. Maybe I'll try WD-40 on there.
I love this community. In all honesty, I love everybody who in the Agorapulse community, everyone who watches live, everybody who jumps on this show, all the banter that happens in the comments, because it is like a small little community. We're all here to help each other out, especially Scott when he when he needs some science to help him out.
Science when you're a little thing. Have you seen our little thing? Melissa, can you pop that up when the next time
Science!
There I go. How's that? Yeah. Like it's so random.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little uncomfortable.
Like it's my fist going
Science!
Yeah, so you're punching me in the
Can
eye.
Can I get that audio clip and that file so that on my Digital Gal live streams I can occasionally like randomly just pop it up?
I'm sure Melissa will give that. It was funny. Like Owen one day was like, "Hey, start yelling science, and we're going to record you." And so I did, and then this became what it was. So kind of an interesting thing.
It's kind of like you're taking gifts to a whole new level.
Right. Yeah. GIFs. Speaking of GIFs, Chad Peterson has made so many random GIFs of me lately. Like, Chad is one of those guys. If you don't know Chad, somebody tag Chad. But for one, he shows up with no shame at airports and picks you up. But he's like always making random GIFs of people. And he's got me like I'm eating. And one's like, why'd you make a GIF of me sitting there eating? You know, come on, dude.
But when it comes to Chad, if Chad makes a GIF of you, you know that you guys are besties. You know you're in his good books for life if he makes a GIF of you.
Amazing. Did you see Chad show up yesterday for Mark Schaefer?
I did. It was in Wichita, Kansas. And so for those of you who don't know, Chad Peterson, he has a habit of showing up at airports to pick up our fellow social media industry experts when they are showing up at different conferences, but he does it with a spin, such as picking up Chocolate Johnny from the airport dressed as an Oompa Loompa. That one went viral and has made the rounds.
That was awesome.
Picking up John Lee Dumas, Entrepreneur on Fire, dressed as a fireman in a fireman outfit. And,
with no shirt.
Yesterday, with no shirt. And he pulled the no shirt again yesterday, showing up at the airport in Wichita or in Kansas to pick up Mark Schaefer, again with no shirt, with the banjo. And
this is the hillbilly.
Yeah. If somebody can drop links into the comments to show some
unfortunately, he picked me up dressed with like a tube top on and some booty shorts, and it scarred me. I messaged Mark yesterday. I said, "You're now part of this club. It's something you'll never forget, and it takes a lot of showers and tears to eventually make it go away." But you know,
I was saying that once you hit over that 100 peak live viewers, you hit this sort of like you've made it. If you've hit the 100 peak live viewers on a live stream, it's like you've made it in this industry. If you've been picked up at the airport by Chad Peterson, dressed as something completely mortifyingly embarrassing, you have made it in this industry. So congratulations, Scott. Shall we move on to the next trivia question?
Dustin's going on. I say GIF. Would you say GIF or GIF? Which one do you say in Canada?
Oh, well, it's not. I cannot represent Canada on this one because the GIF versus GIF war rages on above the border too. My personal opinion. Actually, I don't even want to share my personal opinion because I want to be like neutral. Canada loves everybody. That's just why can't we all just get along?
I'm GIF. I'm a hard GIF. I'm a hard G. I'm GIF because GIF is a peanut butter that starts with J. GIF peanut butter. So Jiffy. But
it's like the best of both worlds. You can have the peanut butter and rotating images. Who knows?
Right. All right. Next question. Hopefully your head pops up on this question. You're due for one.
I'm ready to rock and roll here. All right. How come I get the American question? What percentage of American adults use Facebook? Is it A, 71%, B, 82%, C, 65%, or D, 75%? So the question again, what percentage of American adults use Facebook? Now let's qualify that. Is it just American as in US, like United States of America, or is it American as in like North America? What kind of American are we talking here?
I believe this was a US. I want to say it was a US data.
I feel so left out.
It could. We could go ahead and say it was North America, but I think the data I pulled on this one was US, if I remember correctly. But
we're talking about all the American data. You guys have your American Thanksgiving. If there are any Canadians watching, can you share some Canadian love? If there's anybody from the UK, share some UK love, because aren't we like brothers and sisters?
I mean, we fought them in a war.
See, I'm talking about being neutral, talking about love, and here you are talking about war. Oh my goodness.
So let's while everybody's answering questions, you want to answer another random question?
Yes, I would love. Wait,
are you up for it? Are you up for it?
I mean, I know I'm going to anyway, but I'm a little nervous. Yeah, honestly.
I'm gonna pick one out.
Right. You're not just gonna randomly flip it. You're gonna actually find.
All right, this is an easy one. What's one thing that's left on your bucket list?
Yeah, I've got a huge bucket list. There's about 3 billion things on it. Ooh, the one closest thing, I'm actually sitting in Victoria, BC, Canada. And two things on my bucket list. I know that's, the question was one, but I can't help it. I want to go to Tofino. I've never been to Tofino, and it's about a short 5-hour drive from where I am right now. So I want to go explore Tofino, go surfing out there. And I want to go to Whistler. I've never snowboarded. I've never been skiing or snowboarding on the West Coast in actual powder. I'm an East Coast girl, well, an Ontario girl, and I've been riding, we're used to riding on small hills that are basically like speed bumps covered in ice. So I'm like a pro at riding on ice. I've never ridden in powder. So that's one of my bucket list goals. And this year I crushed a ton of my bucket list goals, road tripping and digital nomading all across the United States, hitting the Grand Canyon, hitting the Carlsbad Caverns, taking my kayak with me all the way from Ontario, all the way down into Texas and all the way out to San Diego, and kayaking with my dog in San Diego Bay. So yeah, bucket list is definitely something I have hundreds and hundreds of items on that big list, but I'm doing it. And you should be too.
Is anybody else
Not
out
my
there?
list.
I'm curious if anybody else out there is. I'm not a big bucket list person. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm lazy. I'm not really sure. But like I don't think about those things. I just kind of just go willy nilly and take life as it comes. So I never really think about that. So I'm curious if anybody else has any bucket list things. And I'm looking in the comments here for a winner, and I do see a winner. So, and this was based on, I saw George pop in some data on May. I think this was a little bit later data, and maybe it did include Canada. So maybe we should have said American, because the data he has is a little bit different. But that to say, someone did get it right. And the answer that I was looking for was A, 71%. And that we're going to give that one to our dear YouTube friend, Lily Tree. Lily Tree, thank you for answering over on YouTube. Let's spin the wheel. Get hypnotized.
Spinning the wheel.
Make sure you type 5 while you're getting hypnotized, because you want to get into our chat bot. Hope it lands. Oh, Lily Tree. This one will be interesting. This is the live sponsorship, so we'll have to talk, Lily, and make sure it fits. But the goal here is we're going to talk about you in the show, mention one of your business, what you do. So email me, Lily, lab@agorapulse.com. And we'll have some fun with that one and see how it goes. This was something I thought of at the last minute the other day when Melissa and I were talking. It's like, hey, this would be kind of fun to give away something that no one else really has done and given away. So we're going to do that. So yeah, Lily, email me.
I still think that we should randomly throw in an hour of Owen's consulting time into this.
Or just a lunch with Owen. Yeah. And
Lunch
just like,
with Owen.
hey, give him their address and his address, and they just show up at his house with some lunch and just, hey, I'm here. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. I don't think he'd appreciate that.
No.
Melissa has his lunch is over. Has to go back to work. Brian, see you, Brian. Appreciate you being on here. Let's you want to do? We've done how many? We've done 5. You want to do like 1 or 2 more?
Sure. Yeah. I kind of like where.
All right, Melissa. Cue the music. Let's see where the next one is. Hey, it's me. Instagram post with captions. This is on a test that we did. Instagram posts with captions in the original post had how much more reach than posts without captions? A, 53%, B, 12%, C, 87%, or D, 46%. So answer in the comments on the main live feed. When we did this test, which one had more reach? It had more reach, the post with the comments. Which one was it? Was it A, B, C, or D? So when you post on Instagram, do you always post text, or have you ever posted with no caption at all?
The only time I've ever posted with no caption at all is when I overthink things and I've been procrastinating on posting and I just need to get a post out. And it's very rare that I've done that, but occasionally I'll just slap a post up there and walk away and pretend like it never happened. But for the most part, it's Instagram really is all about the hashtags. And you need to you need to put a caption in there to put your hashtags in, unless you're trying to stuff them in the comments, but that's a little bit different. So absolutely, I mean, Instagram is driven based on what you're putting in the captions and in your hashtags. So it doesn't make sense just to put a photo up there for the sake of putting a photo. And I'd love to know what everybody else thinks about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if anybody else has done that as well. I mean, the idea here when we were testing this was, Instagram is all about the images and all about the photos that catch people's attention. So does the text matter at all? Is anybody actually reading the text? So that's kind of why we tested this, to see if it mattered or not. And we did this on, I think, at least 5. I don't have the experiment pulled up. We did it on like 5 or 6 different accounts to kind of get an average and see which one performed better. And I was actually a little bit surprised by the answer and the way it went. So it kind of gives you a little bit, a hint there. But it was an interesting test to see that reach, all of them, no matter what. When we had a caption on it or text in the update, reach was higher for sure, but it was higher by a pretty high amount. So I see a lot of people answering over here. Let's see. What do we get? I saw Steven. Steven, I like that you answered every single one of them. That was pretty good.
That's a good tactic, Steven.
Yeah, just answer every one of them, and maybe one of them will show up. Aaron Lee, I love Aaron. If you don't follow Aaron, ask Aaron Lee on Twitter. I believe it's his Twitter handle. Aaron's our APAC country manager, and just an amazing dude. Got like 1.5 million Twitter followers. It's insane. He answered B. B was wrong, just so you kind of know. Aaron and I go way back. We've worked at 2 different companies together now, so it's kind of fun to have him on staff with us now at Agorapulse. And his birthday is actually my wedding anniversary, so we never forget. I never forget his birthday. He never forgets my wedding anniversary, so it's kind of a fun little thing there. So I'm going to say, I think everybody's answered that wanted to answer. Oh, Aaron said, oops, he's fired because he got the wrong answer. No, we won't fire you. The answer was, for this test, post on Instagram with the captions got 53% more reach, which was the correct answer. It's 53%. And I see that Alyssa Rogers, she got that one correct. So shout out to you, Alyssa. And let's spin the hypnotic wheel. And hopefully it lands on something. I'm going to spin this more than once if it lands on one we've already given away. We'll just make that. Oh, there you go. It didn't. So, Alyssa, this is pretty cool. You're going to get a free membership to Owen Video's Video Marketing School. And I'm in his group for that. Wow. And it's a very active group. So much information about video marketing. So if you do any sort of video marketing or wanting to do any sort of video marketing, I would recommend you go check out Video Marketing School. Owen does a fantastic job with that training and gives so much value away to his students. So you will get a free membership to that, and kudos to Owen for letting us give that away. So just email me, Alyssa, lab@agorapulse.com, and I'll forward it to Owen and let him hook you up with that, however he wants to hook you up. So I was excited about that one, that he was able to give that to us. So
that's a big one. That's an exciting one. Yeah. I mean, they're all great.
Yeah, well, they're all great, but this is something that really could change your business. So I mean, if you actually apply some of the stuff that Owen's doing and actually listen to it, he's got over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's doing all kinds of great stuff over there. So, and his last name is Video now. So he knows a little bit something about video. I think maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So good job, Alyssa. Appreciate you hopping in there in the comments. So y'all give some props and some love to Alyssa before we get to our very last question. All right, so Andy, you want to do the honors on the last question?
I would love to. This one's very fitting for me, I think. All right, here we go. How many minutes per day do Facebook users spend on the platform? How many minutes per day do users spend on the platform? Is it A, 72 minutes, B, 45 minutes, C, 22 minutes, or D, 38 minutes per day on Facebook? And the reason I love this question is because I know that I am an atypical user. And I think, if we had to rate this in minutes, we need to rate my usage in hours or days on days, marathon work days like the other day. Right. But I'm on Facebook. This is actually a problem for someone like myself who works on Facebook. I'm on the platform all day long. And whether I'm on the platform building ads for somebody or in any of the various compartments or parts of Facebook, it shows that I'm online, shows that I'm active. And I know I can turn that off, but everybody knows that I'm on Facebook anyhow. And so I constantly get messages. I also build messenger marketing chat bots. So because I'm building bots and I'm testing bots and I'm in messages all the time, it's basically like my workplace, but people come there for social, which obviously that makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of people that will send me messages. I'll read the messages. I won't get back to them. I'll keep working. And then I forget that they messaged me, and then it's read, and it just goes downhill from there. So I apologize if I've ever done that to you.
Yeah, the hard part for me was, I try and do, especially if you're doing ads, you're working on Facebook, is not getting distracted by everything. Like the stinking notifications will drive me crazy. I'm like, I'm in the middle of something. I'm like, ooh, squirrel, and I got to go look at this notification. And then I 10 minutes later, I go back to whatever it was I was doing. So I've tried to get where I don't. That's why I was telling earlier before we got on here, like I don't do a lot of Facebook on the mobile, because I will just veg out and just be sitting there for an hour or two. So I try to keep it just on desktop in a tab that I go look at, maybe once an hour, or if I'm doing something in ads or something, I'll notice it, or on someone's live like this. But
I think I'm a bit of an addict because I generally have, I don't have the other one within reach, but I generally have Facebook going on two cell phones, Facebook, Instagram, and then I have the iPad, plus I've got desktop, my desktop. So I'm constantly rotating among usually around 4 different devices for pushing out testing with messenger marketing chatbots, checking it on mobile, checking mobile formats, well edited. Like, it's just crazy. It's silly. I'm definitely a technology addict.
It reminds me of Inspector Gadget. Remember that Inspector Gadget cartoon where he's got all these different hands out with all these devices? Does anybody else do what Amanda does and is on like 5 different devices at once? I would love to know, because I'm a 2-screen guy at least, plus my phone. There was a time when I did 4 monitors, a laptop, and an iPad, and a phone, and so now I've kind of pulled back to just usually 1 or 2. But 5, that's hard to keep up with. I mean, like, do you have service on all those, or just all Wi-Fi 100%?
They're all on Wi-Fi. Well, no, I got the cell phone. I have one cell phone on a data plan. The other one is not. It's just strictly on Wi-Fi, but connected to all of my apps. And then same with the iPad. It's just Wi-Fi. But I use all of those devices for testing and testing different formats and a lot of it's. And then as far as like Instagram and checking things on Instagram, and then being able to, I mean, how many of you have conversations going on Instagram and on Facebook generally at the same time? And I'm one of those folks that doesn't want to connect my business Instagram inbox into my Facebook inbox because I have other admins that I don't necessarily want being flooded with the Instagram messages that go through. It's very different conversations. There's a different flavor of conversation that happens on Instagram. I feel it's a little more casual from people messaging my business page versus Facebook. When people message my business page on Facebook, it's a little more business oriented and formal. It's just interesting how that all works. So yeah, I'm generally juggling lots of devices, and it just happens naturally. I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like I'm swimming in devices. I just feel like my attention span moves fluidly between one device to the next device, from one thing to the next thing. But it really does. It is like you. I do get caught down that squirrel moments.
Yeah. What am I doing? What was that? It's like when you walk into the kitchen, like, why'd I come in here? Yeah, I'd be like that too. Aaron says you're definitely an addict. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's almost like the opposite. I walk into the kitchen like, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat that, I'm going to have that, I'm going to have that. Yeah.
That's funny. Vicky's a multiple device user. Yeah. Aaron's 2 screens plus a phone. Alone. Yeah, you're not alone there. I think in our space, that's probably pretty common that we're on multiple things. You ever look at Brian Fanzo's setup? I'm like, oh my God, how do you keep up with all that going? It's like an air traffic controller.
So the worst for me is going out on a first date and sitting there, and when you meet somebody for coffee or you go out for dinner and you're starting to get to know each other, and one of the first things that pops out of their mouth is, oh, I really don't like people who are on Facebook or using technology or on their phone all the time. I'm like, this isn't gonna work.
So you text them from the phone under the table. See you later.
Yeah. Exit stage left.
All right, so let's get to our winner on this one. The correct answer was D, 38 minutes. 38 minutes, which was kind of low to me. I thought it'd be much, much higher, but I think a lot of the average, we're not the normal users. The normal users are just hopping on like in their lunch break or after work or something like that. So 38 minutes was the answer. And the person I saw answer that was Shandy. I don't know if I pronounced that correct or not. So Shandy Penrod, you're the winner of this one. And this is going to be our last spin. So this one, the ones I've X'd out, if we land on one of those, I'm going to spin again. And so this is our last time. Let's see how fast I can spin that.
Like, does it matter where, like, how you rotate, like the angle on it, or
let's try it. Let's try it. You want to try sideways?
Sideways spin. Here we go.
There we go. Ooh. Can't see where it's going to land on. All right, we're going to go
already
again.
Landed. Spin again.
Yeah, we're going to go again. This is for Shandy Penrod. Oh, we keep landing on him. I'm going to go upside. We're going to go normal now. See what happens. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you know what? Look, that went over and hit ring light. Did you see that?
Hey,
it went over and hit ring light. So, Shandy, yeah, you like that? Huh? Shandy, you're going to win a ring light kit, a cool little kit with a tripod for your phone. And the little ring light to go on, around it, so you can kind of do some live video. So we expect you to see some live video from you if you don't already do that. So make sure you email me lab@agorapulse.com to claim all of these prizes. And George, you didn't win, so I don't expect an email from you about this. But maybe we'll give you a T-shirt if you haven't got one yet.
George,
surely he has
email
one
them,
now.
email them anyway. I swear. Email lab@agorapulse.com.
I'm
Actually,
gonna get so many
everybody-
random emails now.
I really think everybody who's watching this
Yeah.
should email lab@agorapulse.com and just say,
I
you know,
promise
what,
I'll
this is
answer
my
every one of them.
book,
I
and then-
promise I'll.
You know, I bet you somebody should do it for Jen Herman's Instagram for Dummies book, because I know that went unclaimed. I think
Yeah,
you
we may
should.
have to see one. We may have to swap out one anyway, so we may do that anyway. But
Awesome.
yeah, so that was fun. I love these little trivia shows. I mean, we started out when we started the very first show we did, which is almost a year ago now, was kind of a mix of trivia and like tips from different influencers on social media. So it was kind of like we like to pop these in here every once in a while just for fun, and they're kind of great. Great filler, if you will, when we don't have an experiment to talk about, because sometimes we're in between experiments, or we're almost up to like 40 live shows. So we've almost done every experiment that we want to talk about. So now I'm having to talk about new stuff. And I do have a new experiment that'll come out tomorrow on the lab website that's has a little bit to do with Reddit ads. First time I've ever tested Reddit ads before.
Really?
So it was kind of an interesting one. It's kind of like, let's try it. So I did a lot of tests on Reddit ads here recently, so it was kind of an interesting one.
What's the Are we allowed to ask what the hypothesis?
Yeah, it was. We're testing the which gets lower cost per click, Facebook ads or Reddit ads. On the same link, we were pushing traffic to two different ads, same links. So yeah, it was kind of I was curious because Reddit ads kept popping up in my news feed on Facebook. Ironically enough, like I guess Reddit's advertising on Facebook to run ads. So interesting to me. And they're pretty viable. There's a lot of people, because of Facebook privacy issues and everything else that's going on in the political spectrum, that people are getting away from Facebook and Reddit. I think 12% of the U.S. citizens are using Reddit. And they're predicted, I think, in the next 3 years to account for 20% of internet usage. So it's a space you might want to look at. So yeah, we're going to run some tests on Reddit, especially if it can drive traffic.
The other one I was testing on a while back was advertising on Waze. Have you used the app Waze for navigating?
No.
Waze, I find a lot of people are using the Waze app versus something like your Apple Maps or Google Maps to navigate, because Waze gives you a little more of the heads up on how to reroute or faster routes, or how to get there faster. And it also lets you know if there's a cop up ahead, or if there's a broken down car, any of those. And it's sort of real time user reported. So people have flocked over to that app like crazy, and now they have advertising on the app. And if you're in a large sort of urban center, it doesn't really work well for you if you're in the middle of nowhere. But if you have an actual physical location, storefront location, and you're advertising on Waze, as people are nearing your location, that ad potentially pops up. And it's very interesting. When I did testing, the number of impressions that you could get versus Facebook ads, it was quite interesting. But obviously it's more for brick and mortar versus virtual, I guess.
Digital stuff probably doesn't work. So yeah, so look for that to drop tomorrow. I think we're going to call that done. Amanda, where can people find you if they want to find you anywhere? Thanks for hopping on the show, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks, Owen, by the way, for jumping off on vacation. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you can find me everywhere on the web at The Digital Gal. Facebook is probably the best place to find me if you want to know more of the behind the scenes on what I geek out on, and see what real life is like behind the curtain of The Digital Gal. Then Instagram is where you want to hang out. And so if you want to geek out with me on anything Facebook ads related, Instagram ads, I'm your girl.
Y'all make sure to give some love bombs to her. Make sure you type 5 and subscribe. We will not have a show next week because of Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys in December. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the Social Media Lab, brought to you by Agorapulse, where we use science to crack the social media code. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube to find out what's working and what's not working in social media.